In a major development in the political landscape of Jammu and Kashmir, the separatist leader Saeed Ali Shah Gilani resigns from the Hurriyat conference. In a video and a press statement, Gilani says he decided to distance himself from Hurriyat in the wake of the present condition of the party. Security forces killed 3 terrorists in an operation in Jammu and Kashmir's Anantnag. Those killed include one district commander of Lashkar-e-Taiba and Hizbul Mujahideen commander Masood. With this, the Doda district in the Jammu zone becomes totally terrorist-free once again. The Minister for Food Processing Industry, Harsimrat Kaur Badal, launches Pradhan Mantri scheme for formalization of micro food processing enterprises as part of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan package. The scheme is expected to generate investment of 35,000 crore rupees and employment opportunities for 9 lakh skilled and semi-skilled workers. Over 9.25 lakh people affected in 23 districts of Assam as flood situation becomes critical. Heavy rains raises water level in Bihar's Mahananda River. 70 teams of the NDRF deployed in the flood-affected states for rescue and relief operation. The Met Department forecasts heavy rain for the next 2 days in the northeast and Bihar. States take cautious measures in the unlock phase. Maharashtra government to extend the lockdown in the state beyond 30th June with some relaxations to revive the economic activity. Complete 14-day lockdown kicks in Guwahati from last night. Manipur extends lockdown till 15 July. The nationwide recovery rate from COVID-19 climbs further to 58.67% with 3,21,000 recovered. The number of active cases now stand at 2,10,000. Worldwide tally of those infected by COVID-19 goes beyond 1 crore. The global death toll crosses grim mark of 5 lakh. In international news, terrorists attack Karachi Stock Exchange. According to media reports, total 9 killed, including all the 4 terrorists involved, and many injured. More details are awaited. Hello and good afternoon. You're watching Doordarshan News with me, Nancy Kohli. Our top story in Jammu and Kashmir, the radical separatist leader Saeed Ali Shah Gilani has announced his resignation from the separatist organization, the Hurriyat Conference. Gilani announced the end of his relationship with the Hurriyat Conference through a 2-page letter and a video message.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. कुल जमाती हुर्रियत कॉन्फ्रेंस की मौजूदा सूरत हाल को मद्देनज़र रखते हुए मैं इस फोरम से मुकम्मल अलहदगी इख्तियार करने का ऐलान करता हूँ। इस ज़िमन में फोरम की तमाम इकाइयों को एक तफसीली ख़त के ज़रिए मुतल्ला किया गया है। अल्लाह हम सब का हामी व नासिर हो। सईद अली गिलानी।
In a major success, the security forces in wee hours eliminated 3 terrorists in the ensuing gunfight in Jammu and Kashmir, and AK-47 and 2 pistols have been recovered. The officials said that in the operation at Anantnag, 2 LET terrorists, including 1 district commander and 1 Hizbul Mujahideen commander Masood, were killed. The Jammu and Kashmir police says the Doda district in Jammu zone has become totally terrorist-free once again, as Masood was the last surviving terrorist in the area. And Masood was also involved in a rape case of Doda police and was absconding ever since. He later joined the Hizbul Mujahideen and shifted his area of operation to Kashmir. In some other news now, BJP leader and Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri addressed the party's virtual Jan Samvad rally in Ladakh. He assured the country about resolving the twin challenge of the COVID-19 crisis and the dispute on the line of actual control by strengthening our spirit.
मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि देश भर में जो हम आज स्पिरिट देख रहे हैं उससे कोविड का चैलेंज और दूसरा चैलेंज वो हम बहुत जरूर मजबूत तरीके से ओवरकम करेंगे और इससे आपके यहां की जो इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट है वो और भी आगे बढ़ेगी, तेजी से बढ़ेगी.
He also said that by the 75th anniversary of independence, every Indian will have their own modular home.
हर एक भारतीय नागरिक वो कहीं भी रहते हो उनका एक अपना मकान होना चाहिए, एक पक्का घर जिसमें मॉडर्न एमेनिटीज सुविधाएं, एक किचन, एक शौचालय और गैस सिलेंडर, ये सब सुविधाएं होने चाहिए.
On the launch of Pradhan Mantri formulation of micro enterprise scheme, the Union Minister of Food Processing Industries Harsimrat Kaur Badal said that through this scheme the micro enterprises will be benefited. 10,000 crore rupees have been allocated to the food industry. We hope to address these challenges and to make them internationally representative with a motive of vocal for local.
Today, on this historic day, through this Pradhan Mantri formalization of micro enterprises, this scheme that is being launched, the Ministry of Food Processing Industry, through this 10,000 crores which has been allocated for this Pradhan Mantri FME scheme, is being launched today, where we hope to address all these challenges and actually catapult this ignored sector to play a big role in the progress of the food processing sector by bringing these unorganized units into the organized sector.
An agreement was signed between India and Bhutan for the 600 megawatt Kolungchu JV hydroelectric project. India was represented by the External Affairs Minister S.J. Shankar in the meeting that was held via video conferencing. It's the first joint venture project to be implemented in Bhutan. The minister also praised Bhutan and India's relations during the event.
This is the first ever joint venture project, as was noted, to be implemented in Bhutan. I congratulate both the JV partners, SJVNL of India and DGPC of Bhutan, for this remarkable feat and hope that they will both literally and metaphorically leave no stone unturned in expeditiously completing the project.
The monsoon has covered the entire country, but it is still to come into full flow in several parts of North India, but elsewhere it's come down hard in the eastern parts of the country. The flood situation in Assam remains grim. A total of over 9 lakh people in 2,071 villages remain affected as 23 districts of the state are reeling underwater. In the last 24 hours, Barpet district is the worst hit, where about 1,35,000 people have been affected. With 2 more deaths reported from Janai and Udalgiri, the death toll has reached to 20 due to the floods. The state government has set up 193 relief camps and relief centers across the state to provide succor to people. More than 27,000 people have taken shelter in these camps. Meanwhile, the eastern end of monsoon trough continues to run along the foothills of Himalayas, with the convergence of strong southwesterly winds from the Bay of Bengal over northeast and the adjoining East India. The non-stop monsoon rain in the state has led to fresh landslides in many places, which resulted in the destruction of these houses. The Border Road Organization is working on its toes to repair the dilapidated parts. Also, flood-like situation remains critical in Bihar's Mahananda River, which has affected several districts of the state. And the Met Department has predicted heavy downpour in northeastern states and parts of Bihar in the next few days.
मानसून ट्रफ की पोजीशन है ये क्लोज टू फुटहिल्स है और आने वाले 4-5 दिनों में यही पोजीशन रहने वाली है। उसके प्रभाव से हम उम्मीद कर रहे हैं कि बिहार और नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न स्टेट्स में वाइड स्प्रेड एक्टिविटी में 75% स्टेशन से ज़्यादा रेनफॉल एक्टिविटी रहने की उम्मीद है और उसके साथ हैवी टू वेरी हैवी फॉल बिन 10 से 12 सेंटीमीटर रेनफॉल एक्टिविटी स्पेसिफिकली बिहार में आने वाले 2 दिनों में और नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न स्टेट्स में भी ये एक्टिविटी आने वाले 4-5 दिनों में कंटिन्यू रहेगी। और उसके बाद जैसे ही मानसून ट्रफ थोड़ा उसकी पोजीशन चेंज होगी, साउथ की तरफ आएगा, तो वी मे एक्सपेक्ट रेनफॉल एक्टिविटी ओवर ये पंजाब हरियाणा इस रीजन में फिर आना थोड़ा एक्टिविटी इंक्रीज होगा।
Now, due to monsoon and heavy rains, the flood situation has arisen in many states across the country, and to deal with the situation, the NDRF has deployed over 70 teams in various states for relief and rescue operations. And talking about Assam first, 11 out of 20 NDRF teams have been deployed in the flood-prone districts for rescue operations, while 9 teams have been kept in reserve. In Bihar, 12 NDRF teams have been deployed in many districts, while 2 teams have been kept on an alert. In West Bengal, 10 teams have been deployed so far, while 7 others kept in a standby. Union Home Minister Amit Shah has assured Assam and Bihar of all the possible help and assistance. Union Home Minister Amit Shah has called the Chief Minister of Assam, Sarbanand Sonowal, and the Health Minister of Assam, Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma, and inquired about the incidents of landslides along with flood and erosion in the state. During the conversation, the Union Home Minister has assured of all the help from the central government in mitigating the situation. And like I said, Home Minister Amit Shah had conversation with the Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar as well over the situation, and in a tweet the Home Minister has said, I quote, talked to the Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar regarding the rising water level of Mahananda River in Bihar. I assured him of all the possible help from the central government for the safety of the people of Bihar, unquote. Moving on now, Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan is currently in the national capital Delhi, and his cabinet may be expanded tomorrow. So today it's very likely that they can meet the leaders of the BJP in Delhi regarding the cabinet expansion. Earlier on Sunday, Shivraj Singh Chauhan had met the several BJP leaders, including the Minister of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Narendra Singh Tomar, in Delhi. Chauhan is likely to meet the BJP President JP Nadda and discuss the cabinet expansion. Recently, Shivraj Singh Chauhan had said that the names in the state leadership have almost been agreed upon. The cabinet will soon be expanded after discussion with the central government in Delhi. Meanwhile, Uttar Pradesh Governor Anandiben Patel has been given the additional charge of Madhya Pradesh. Notably, the Governor of Madhya Pradesh, Lalji Tandon, is unwell and is admitted in a Lucknow hospital. Moving on now and talking about the battle against COVID-19, India is marching ahead in the fight against COVID-19, and the efforts made by the government are showing encouraging results as the gap between the recoveries and the active cases is widening and the recovery rate is improving with each passing day. The number of recoveries have surpassed the number of active cases by over 1 lakh cases. There are 2,10,120 active cases, while 3,21,722 people have recovered. The recovered cases has surpassed by 1,11,602, and the recovery rate stands at 58.67%. And India now has 1,036 diagnostic laboratories dedicated to COVID-19, and this includes 749 in the government sector and 287 in the private sector. India currently has 1,055 dedicated COVID hospitals with 1,77,529 isolation beds, 23,168 ICU beds, and 78,060 oxygen supported beds, 2,400 dedicated COVID health centers with 1,40,099 isolation beds, 11,508 ICU beds and 51,371 oxygen supported beds have also been operationalized, and 9,519 COVID care centers with 8,34,128 beds. And as the COVID-19 pandemic is tightening its grip on the country, 30,000 PPE kits made in Daman, 31,000 N95 masks, 10 crore hydroxychloroquine tablets, a large number of sanitizers have been sent to other states through Daman and Diu administration. In this sequence, Daman has got another chance to start the production of remdesivir injection. After approval by the Drug Controller General of India, Daman's sovereign pharma company via the Cipla company has the opportunity to manufacture the remdesivir injection. The process of manufacturing injections has started in the Union Territory. In a month, more than 50,000 remdesivir injections will be sent out of Daman. Remdesivir is used on patients with high risk contracting COVID-19, such as people above the age of 60 and people with the diseases. Cyrus Dadachanji, the managing director of the company, is delighted to get the opportunity to manufacture the injection, sovereign pharma getting the responsibility.
Gilead Pharmaceuticals, an American company, has licensed 5 Indian companies to manufacture and sell COVID-19 remdesivir injection in India. And one of the companies, leading companies, is Cipla. And Cipla will manufacture its COVID-19 at our plant, Sovereign Pharma in Daman. It has been found that the remdesivir, which we are going to manufacture here, is reducing the viral load in patients suffering from COVID-19 and definitely therefore will support the fight against this disease.
The shopping malls in Gurugram are all set to reopen from the 1st of July. However, the mall administration will have to follow a strict standard operating procedure after the malls reopen. The Haryana government had earlier given permission to reopen the mall across the state from the 7th of June except Gurugram and Faridabad. Although the surge in the cases of COVID-19 has not seen any relaxation in the state. And speaking of other states, the Assam government has also once again imposed a lockdown from 7 in the evening on Sunday. A complete lockdown has been enforced in Guwahati for 14 days. The initial few days of the lockdown will also see restrictions being imposed on shops selling vegetables and other essentials. In Manipur, the state government has extended the lockdown from 1st to 15 July. Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh has said that the inter-district bus service will be operational between 1st and 15 July, maintaining all the COVID-19 safety measures, and no other public transport will ply during the period. The decision about continuing with the bus service beyond 15 July will be taken later. And the Western Railways has made an announcement to add 40 additional suburban services to the existing 162 services currently plying on Western Railways Mumbai suburban section. Now a total of 202 services will be running on the Western Railways suburban section. Out of 40 additional services, 20 slow services will now run. Meanwhile, Maharashtra government has made it clear that the statewide lockdown will be extended beyond the 30th of June. The state government will continue to ease the norms of lockdown step by step. Chief Minister, while addressing through video conferencing, has made an appeal to recovered patients of COVID-19 to come forward in large numbers and donate their plasma so that it can be used in the war against COVID-19. After getting positive results from the Chase the Virus campaign in Mumbai, it will be replicated in other parts of the state as well. And in Tamil Nadu's capital, Chennai, lockdown has been in place for 12 days from the 19th of June. The Madurai administration has announced a complete lockdown from 6 in the morning to 9 at night starting today. People will be allowed to move out to buy essentials like milk, medicines, or visit hospitals. Now, in some other news now, 4 heavily armed terrorists attacked the busy Pakistan Stock Exchange today morning, killing 4 security guards and a police officer before being shot dead in an exchange of fire. The terrorists opened indiscriminate fire and lobbed hand grenades at the main gate of the multi-story building as they tried to storm it. The police and the Rangers officials arrived at the scene and killed all the 4 terrorists near the entrance gates. AK-47 rifles, hand grenades, magazines and other explosive material have been recovered. The investigation is still underway into the attack. And moving on now once again to the COVID-19 updates from across the world, and over 5 lakh people worldwide have now lost their lives due to the COVID-19 pandemic, while the overall number of the global COVID-19 cases have crossed the 1 crore mark. The US accounted for the world's highest number of infections and fatalities. Over 25.48 lakh confirmed cases have been reported in the US, while over 1.25 lakh people have lost their lives so far. The country with the second highest number of recorded cases is Brazil, with over 13.44 lakh and deaths in the excess of 57,000. Behind the US and Brazil, the UK has counted over 43,000 fatalities, while in terms of cases, Russia ranks 3rd in the world with 6.33 lakh cases. And the World Health Organization has announced another daily record in the number of new COVID-19 cases across the world, topping over 1,89,000 in a single 24-hour period. Brazil recorded the most new cases over the one-day span at more than 46,800, followed by the US at over 44,400. And we are moving on now to our health story of the day. And of course, a lot of focus has been on hand washing, which is an important part of hygiene as far as protecting yourself against COVID-19 is concerned. And frequent hand washing is what is recommended. In fact, how it helps in reducing the risk of COVID-19 infection. Let's understand the proper technique of washing your hands in this report.
Hygiene increases the risk of infections and diseases. Washing the hands properly is very important to reduce the risk of transmission of infections.
The best way to maintain a good hand hygiene is wash your hands whenever they are dirty. You are touching the dirty areas, clothes, door handles, computers, taps, or after going to the toilet. And whenever you feel your hands are dirty, you must clean.
Washing hands at critical point during the day and washing with soap are both important. Hand washing with soap is an easy, effective and affordable way of self-protection that prevent infections and save lives.
Right hand washing technique is very important to keep your hands clean. By that you should use the clean water first. Rinse your hands in the clean water. Then apply the soap over the palm. You should rotate it like this, and then you should rub at the back of the hand, interlacing your fingers, then the another hand. Then you should rub your palms with interlacing of the fingers. Then you should rub your thumb, and you should rub your tip of the nails and fingers. You should rub on, rotate them by to and fro motions, and then you should scrub the whole hand and rinse with clean water, and after that you should dry your hands with a clean tissue paper or a cloth.
Promote effective hand washing behavior to be safe and healthy.
Wash your hands thoroughly and frequently. This will help you to reduce the risk of COVID-19 and also monsoon related diseases. So take good care of your hand hygiene and be safe. Kiran Bharadwaj, DD News.
Moving on now, in Sri Lanka, the curfew imposed after COVID-19 outbreak has been completely removed as the country has not seen any case of community infection for over 2 months now. Previously, the curfew imposed on the whole country since 20th March was partially lifted, with the country returning to normalcy. The curfew was in effect from 12 midnight until 4 in the early morning, which has been lifted from Sunday. The country is fast recovering from the crisis, with only 361 active cases of COVID-19 under treatment. The count of recoveries now stands at 1,661 cases among 2,033 infections, while the country has also seen 11 deaths. Now, Sri Lanka has seen almost 1,000 cases from a Navy base during the past 2 months, while the recent cases are mostly among the returnees from foreign countries. Meanwhile, the Civil Aviation Minister of the country has said that the complete reopening of the airports may be delayed due to the increased number of registrations to arrive in the country. Previously, the government had targeted to reopen the airports from the 1st of August for tourists. The date of complete reopening may now be postponed after 15th August or towards the end of August. And the US has recorded a 5th consecutive day of record new cases of COVID-19 infections. The world's largest economy is the hardest hit country by the pandemic, with 1,25,793 deaths out of more than 25.47 lakh cases. Several southern and western states have recorded a surge in the cases after lockdown restrictions were eased. The spike has led officials in Texas, Florida and other states to tighten the restrictions on business again, with the warnings that hospitals may soon be overwhelmed. A day after Florida reported a record number of new infections of COVID-19 for the second day in a row, the governor has announced that the resurgence in cases of COVID-19 is unrelated to the state's reopening. More beaches will be closing again in Florida to avoid the further spread of the COVID-19 as they try to tamp down on large gatherings amid a spike in the confirmed COVID-19 cases. The Florida governor has said that interactions among young people are driving the surge in confirmed cases. The Florida Department of Health reported that more than 8,500 new confirmed cases of COVID-19 and 29 deaths. Haiti, the poorest country in Latin America and one of its most crowded countries, has been hit by COVID-19 pandemic, and the situation there could deteriorate fast. The virus has spread in the crowded slums of Haiti, and it is reliant on the initiatives by foreign aid organizations given its feeble healthcare system. Given the reluctance of many Haitians to go for treatment, many believe that the toll from COVID-19 is far higher than the 100 deaths officially registered to date. As the governments in Europe and some parts of Asia have managed to stem the spread of COVID-19, Latin America and the Caribbean, that's home to 654 million people with a very uneven distribution of wealth, have emerged as one of the epicenters of the pandemic. And Brazil has the second highest number of COVID-19 cases and fatalities in the world after the US. The Latin American nation recorded 30,476 new cases of COVID-19 in the past 24 hours and 552 additional deaths. Brazil has now registered 13,44,143 total confirmed cases of COVID-19 and 57,622 deaths. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the news. Thanks for being with us.